This is the new BMW X5, and it's a bit like BMW's own headquarters in Munich, Germany, because you wouldn't describe it as being pretty, but it certainly stands out. In fact, I'm going to do a quick impression of this car. So look at the huge grille. It's not iron it. It's like it's flaring its nostrils. This particular car I've got here has various bits of mud at the side. Looks like I've been off-roading, I haven't. That's just designer mud that BMW will fit to this car as an option. That's a lie, I've just completely made that up. Right, so this car, it's not the cheapest, but then it is a luxury SUV. So it starts from £57,500, but you can save an average of 1,500 quid on one through Carwow. In fact, if you click on the pop-out banner in the top right-hand corner of the screen, you can see how much you can save on a new car, the Carwow. I thought I'd start this review at the boot to let you see the rear end of this car, which once again isn't the most beautiful, but it does stand out. And this is another standout feature. BMW has kept the X5 split tailgate. I really like it. It's handy if you just want to kind of perch on here or push things in. Another thing I really like is this, look. This is one of the disadvantages of a split tailgate. If you want to reach in, you need to put it back up, but I like this, look. The parcel shelf, you press the button there and it just slides out so very easily. On most of the cars, it's a faff. BMW have really solved that problem. So let's put that down again and I can show you me easily sliding this out of the boot. There we go. Look at that. And there's plenty of other useful features in here. So we've got various tie down places there underneath here. And notice that, look, it's on a gas strut. So it stays up, so that feels posh. What would normally be a spare wheel in there, but this car is on run flat tyres, so you've just got space which you can store stuff in. And let's return to this parcel shelf because, hey, look at this. It will fit under here. No, it's that way. I'm trying to figure out how to do it. I know it can do it. I can see signs here. Just bear with me. Got there in the end. Once you've learnt it though, it's going to be very easy the next time. So, space under there. There's also little hooks to hang things off. Stop your shopping rolling around when you go around corners. It's a nice square shape. The actual capacity is about 15% less than you get in an Audi Q7, but still, look, you can see there's easily enough. And look, I can fold down the rear seats from here and they just flop perfectly into place. And it's almost a completely flat floor. Just a bit raised towards the end, but you can push things straight to the front. I want to show you this as well. When I shut the tailgate, it'll do the bottom part. Oh, I forgot to show you something. Look at this, I want to show you this. So if I press this button here, I have an electric tow hitch, and because I've got air suspension on this car, I can actually, look, there's another button here. If I push this down, then I press this, it should lower the car on its air suspension. Lowering down, so I've got my electronic tow hitch, which is obviously an optional extra, but this lowering feature is standard because this car comes with air suspension as standard. There you go, brilliant. Now I can shut the boot again. And let's go to the back seats. Well, I'll just move this stuff out of the way. Try not to mark the ivory coloured leather. Putting the seat back is simple, you don't have to release a catch. Now getting into this car is dead easy. You've got massive doors like that. The wheel arch doesn't intrude at all. The height is just right for just flopping into like that. It's great, very easy to get into. You've got easy access ISOFIX anchor points down here, and they're under flip-up covers, so you won't lose the covers like you do with the pop-off ones. Also, there's so much room back here, it's dead easy to manoeuvre a big, bulky child seat. Now you can see, look, this seat is in my usual driving position. I've got loads and loads of room. Plenty of headroom, even though we've got the panoramic glass roof here. Oh, that's really bright. That's actually good though. When it's dark, you get two little lights there, so it does give you a decent amount of reading light. And often that's not the case in most cars. Anyway, back to what I was talking about. So, lots of knee room, very, very comfy. Now, it doesn't feel quite as spacious in the back as an Audi Q7, and part of the reason for that is that you can't slide nor recline these seats, but they are super comfy. There's lots of support under your legs. They're fairly reclined anyway. Yeah, if you want to carry three, it's not bad at all. The floor's almost completely flat, so there's plenty of foot space. The middle seat is slightly firmer, so it's not as comfortable, but you can fit 3 adults in the back here. In fact, when you check out our detailed practicality video, you can see just what it's like with 3 adults in the back. So much stuff you can fit in the boot and how easy it is to fit a child seat. Speaking of children, they'll be more than happy back here. So the Wind ledge is quite low. Also, look, the rear windows go all the way down, which is very unusual these days. So that's good. Now, under here, you have obviously your armrest, but you've got a cubby there if you want to use that. And you've got your cup holders there. Other storage, well, down here you've got a little area there where you can put a mobile phone. There's your 12-volt socket, so you can charge some devices there. You've got climate control down here, and you've got a vent here to blow towards you to keep you nice and warm. Also down here you've got airplane style folders on the backs of the chairs. Really solid, feel expensive, good place for your iPad. You can actually get special mounts which attach into the seat back there, and you can mount your iPad and then charge it here off USB-C plugs. That's very modern and up to date. And finally, the rear door bins, look, they are absolutely massive. Plenty of room for my flat. Door bins in the front are even bigger, as I'll show you now. The cubby space in this car is actually very, very good. I mean, look at this. These door bins are massive. In terms of other storage, here you have 2 cup holders there. They are just about big enough for a decent sized bottle, and this is a great thing. On this car, I can either choose to cool my drink or I can heat it to keep my coffee nice and warm. Under here you've got another USB charging point there, and you've got wireless charging for your mobile phone. So you can just put it there and let it charge up. I'll just cover it up when you're not using it. You've got some more storage under here. It's actually quite a decent space, and there's another USB-C input there as well. The glove box, yeah, it's packed full of junk, but it's an average size. And the last bit of storage is down here. Look, a little storage area there where you can keep money or whatever you want to in there. In terms of the design, I'll let you have a quick look at it. Personally, I think this is much better than any previous X5. It's a big step on. I think the design's really, really nice. I also like the way that the air vent pattern is actually mimicked here in the interior light pattern. That's quite cool. One pattern I'm not so sure about is this here on the dash. It sort of freaks my eyes out a bit, but generally I think it's a really nice looking car. And I like the way that they've like compartmentalized stuff. So all your driving controls are just here in this single pod. Then you've got your stereo controls just here, and they're like touch sensitive as well. Then you have like your climate control stuff on here, all very easy to use. And there's the quality. So everything you touch, soft touch there, soft touch there, soft touch all the way down here. And it's dead solid as well. The quality in here, I think, is better than any other SUV at this price. It's absolutely gorgeous. You also get electric operation of the steering wheel. There's loads of adjustment in the seats as well. I like the fact that I can extend the front part of the seat, and look at this, I can move the back part electrically as well. This car has upgraded leather. It's £1,000 extra, but it's super soft. Another upgrade it has is something called glass elements for the interior. It's £550, and it includes some glass bits for the starter button, the switch for the stereo, and most notably, and most horribly, the gear selector. It just looks a little bit tacky, if you ask me. What I can't complain about though is the screens that you get in this car. Let's first of all talk about the driver's display. It's as standard on the X5, and you can do different things like see the sat nav in it and go through various items. The only thing I don't really like about it so much is that the rev counter runs backwards like on a Peugeot, which is a bit odd, but it does mean that they can free up enough space in between the dials to fit the sat nav map there at all times if you want it. The main infotainment screen, it's really good, really clear. The image on it is as though someone's actually painted it on. The graphics are that sharp, and you can operate it in lots of different ways. So you can use a swivel wheel like that. You can use things like gesture control. So that is to do the volume. That is to change track. There we go, it's registering it here. But actually those gestures are a bit of a gimmick. You may as well just use the buttons on the steering wheel or the swivel wheel, or of course the touchscreen if you want to. But the latest thing for this new infotainment system is intuitive voice command, so you can just talk to it normally. You just have to wake it up by going, "Hey BMW, take me to carwow."
Perfect. Carwow is our next destination.
It's actually taking me to Carlisle. You just lose some points there, BMW, I'm afraid. Oh well, so it doesn't cope too well with a Midland accent, but you kind of get the idea. The actual infotainment system itself, if you just use it normally like you would iDrive, very easy to use. You can just spin through the menus just on the left-hand side. The sat-nav looks really good, and generally it's okay. The only thing I found with the sat-nav is that it's not the smartest. Sometimes it just wants to stick you on a main route, even though like back routes would be quicker. Yeah, it's not up to the standard of Waze or Google Maps, I think, for routing, but it's generally quite good. And like I say, it looks really, really nice. Now, for more information on this car's infotainment system, click on the pop-out banner just up there in the top right corner of the screen for more detail on this car's interior and all the tech. Now, let's talk about standard equipment. So generally, it's pretty good on this car. You get 19-inch alloy wheels, you get leather interior, you get the air suspension I was talking about, you get climate control. Step up to the M Sport, which is what this car is and what everyone will have pretty much. Then you get like a sporty body kit, you then get 20-inch alloy wheels, upgraded brakes, more sporty bits on the inside, such as this sports steering wheel. Now, it's definitely worth going onto CarWow and checking out our configurator and like building one of these cars, or any car for that matter. Have a play around with it and see what kind of offers you can get back on the BMW X5 or any car of your choosing for that matter.
Now then, it's time for the CarWow 5 annoying things about this car.
And like with many other SUVs, the doors, look, they don't cover the sills and they get all dirty. So when you get out, you end up rubbing the backs of your trousers on the sill, as you can see has happened here. That's why this bit is all clean. It's now all over the back of my trouser. If you have the top of the range Bowers & Wilkins stereo, you get this beautiful metallic central speaker cover here on the dash. This car has the less expensive Harman Kardon system, and so you just have this plasticky, nasty cover. Yeah, it kind of reminds you that you don't quite earn enough. You can get a digital key for your mobile phone, so you can open it without actually having to use a key. The only thing is, it only works with an Android phone. Yet this car isn't available at all with Android Auto, only Apple CarPlay. So you need an Apple phone to operate the stereo, an Android phone to operate the doors. That's illogical, Captain. This is supposed to be a luxury car, but you don't get luxury items such as lumbar support, which helps prevent backache on longer journeys. That's standard, you have to pay extra for it. You know what, I'm not going to pay extra for it, I'm going to use this instead and just save some money. If you want, you can pay extra for a digital key, which allows you to do things remotely on the car, such as operate the windows, the climate control. But look at the display, it's just so slow to respond. It's like one of the very first touchscreen mobile phones.
Thankfully, this car has plenty of cool features to help make up for all this. Here's 5.
There's some little lights on the steering wheel which change colour to give you some information about the driving aid you're using. So when they're green, it means everything's good to go, but they can go from orange to red to give you a warning. With the surround view cameras, you get a bird's eye view of the car, which helps you out when you're parking or going through tight spaces. Also, watch this. This will flip to a view above, so you can see just how close you can get to an obstacle. And look at this other feature. If I just swipe this out, go into 3D view, I can actually see like a graphical image of the car. Then I should be able to just look around it using gesture controls. There we go. See the car we're filming there. I'm like playing a computer game. The optional laser lights can beam up to 600 meters down the road, and they're up to 10 times brighter than normal LEDs. But you don't have to worry about oncoming traffic because they can blank out part of their beam so they don't dazzle other drivers. With the optional reversing assistant, the car is constantly remembering your steering inputs as you drive along at slow speeds. So let's say you're in a busy parking garage and you're doing lots of maneuvers, weaving in and out like that. The car will remember your inputs for the last 50 meters. So let's say you come to a dead end, or you're faced by someone coming the other way and you need to reverse, and you think, oh, I've got to do all those steering inputs again, but in reverse, it's going to mess with my head. Well, don't worry. You put the car into reverse, you hit the steering assistant button. The car will then play your steering inputs backwards. So you basically can go through all the obstacles you've just driven through. A piece of cake. Look at that. If you get the panoramic glass roof, it has 15,000 individual LED lighting elements in it. So when you change the ambient lighting of the cabin, the colour of the roof changes as well. Look, it's orange. Blue now. Let's put it green. And finally, purple. It's like being in a brothel, I imagine.
So, now we've looked around the car, let's see what it's like to drive.
This X5 might be a big car, but it's not too difficult to drive in town. You get a good view out because you sit quite high. In fact, you feel like you're sitting on this car rather than in it, like you do more so in an Audi Q7. You don't feel quite as high as if you're in something like a Land Rover Discovery though, so it's still not quite as good for looking down on people. All-round visibility is all right though. The back window isn't that big, but there's not too much of a blind spot by the rear pillar, so that's a good thing. The gearbox, 8-speed automatic, is blooming lovely. You can be in just normal cruising mode, you floor it and it does respond quickly and pick up. And it's got a fast engine this. This is the 3-litre straight 6 diesel engine. Plenty of performance, absolutely great. Now the other engines you can get with this car are a 3-litre petrol engine, but that's quite thirsty. There's a more powerful 3-litre diesel with 4 turbos. That's really quick, but it's also really expensive. This is the sweet spot in the range. Right price, right economy. Speaking of economy, I'm getting 29 miles per gallon. It's not that great. You can get better out of it. It's just that I've been thrashing it a bit. All models come as standard with air suspension, and air suspension is lovely. It lets you float over the bumps. It's really good. Now when you speed up, which is very easy to do with this diesel engine, 0 to 60 in around 6.5 seconds. On the motorway, it's very quiet. You don't get hardly any wind noise at all. All you really hear are the tyres, and that could be the run flats because they do make a bit more noise than normal tyres. Yeah, on the motorway, it's sure-footed, planted, easy car to do long distances in. And the press of a button, I can put things into sports mode though. So obviously in sports mode, you've got slightly stiffer suspension, increased throttle response, weightier steering. It can actually be fun. An SUV that is fun. It feels like a BMW should to drive. Yeah, you've got 4-wheel drive to give you grip, but it can send more power to the back. So it feels a bit more like a sports car than some of the alternatives. Oh, I do like it. If you want to see the best deals you can get on the new X5, click on the pop-out banner in the top right-hand corner of the screen to go to CarWow and our special X5 deals page. Okay then, so my verdict on this car: should you avoid it? Should you consider it? Should you shortlist it? Or should you just go right ahead and buy it? Well, I think you should just go right ahead and buy the X5. You know, it's a luxurious, comfortable, practical, good to drive and packed full of tech SUV. Enough said.
If you enjoyed this video, please click on our logo to subscribe to this channel or to watch more content on the bottom right hand corner. However, if you want to save money on a car, click on the right to go to our deals page to see how much money you can save at CarWow.